hold up. I'm just chiming in right now. Yeah, hold on. Chiming in right now. I see y'all. I'm going live in a second. I'm just testing all my stuff. I see y'all like, well, you see, do you know he live? Yeah, I do. I'm just testing all my stuff. Like it's like Instagram is crazy. Hold on. Let me go to my y'all give me a second. I'm about to checking something. Okay, cool. Here I am. I just wanted to make sure everything was set up correctly. Hold up, y'all. Hold up, y'all. I'm just making sure everything is set up correctly. I'm making make sure I'm tuned in to all my pages. I'm checking my TikTok, checking my Facebook. I'm checking my. Hey, look. I'm checking uh my IG. You can never get. Hey, you can't get that to work right. Can't get that shit to work right. But I do got my YouTube and everything like that. So, what's up, everybody? I'm on a little bit late. I'm on a little bit late tonight. Um, I got some stuff I gotta do. Hold on, y'all. What's up, everybody? Hey, look, I'm coming on really late. I am. I was doing all my testing because I'm trying to set up all this new stuff. But hey, man, I want to make sure. Hold on a second. Let me do something really quick here. Hold on a second. Hold on, guy. I want you to do something really quick. Yeah, hold on. Cool. I want to make sure I'm looking down at you guys. Hold on, man. Let me fuck this shit up. Yeah, hell, I gotta find somebody who knows how to do this shit to know what the hell they're doing. Because obviously, hold up, I got a delay, man. Hold on a second, y'all. Looks like I got a delay. Give me a second. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, you guys can hear me? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Cool, cool, cool. All right, cool. Listen, I'm not gonna be on. What's up, Ben Lee? What's up, man? Listen, I'm not gonna be on too long. Um, but there's kind of like a delay because I got it linked up to a bunch of different things. I got it to my Facebook, I got it to my YouTube. And hey, I wanted to come on and talk to you guys for a few seconds. I did this on my man Ben Lee's live. And I was talking about we got a meeting and we got interrupted and all that shit. So, but listen, I know that it's kind of pretentious here in America right now, especially when it comes to the race question, right? So, hey, do I have an echo or anybody? Ben Lee, do I have an echo? Do I sound clear? Y'all give me a thumbs up before I go. I want to make sure you guys can hear me. Give me a thumbs up. Do I sound clear? Can you guys hear me? I don't want to be rambling. You guys can't hear me. I'm good. Cool. All right. Cool. So I kind of did this on Ben Lee's live last night, my man, and I just want to say something real quick. I am a part of I am movement, right? You guys know me as the Kindomhood. I'm always around on a lot of people's live, and hey, listen, I was on this live before I get into what I want to talk about. I was on this live today, and just it was a bunch of white conservatives and stuff like that, right? A bunch of white conservatives. Hey, look at I gotta show you my shirt. Wait, hold up. Let me show you my shirt. I'm gonna let my thing down a little bit because this is what I think of. Let me see if you can see my shirt. Can you guys see my shirt? Nah, it's Fred. Let me see. I want to show you guys my shirt, but it's not anyway. It ain't going. I can't do all that. But anyway, my shirt says "You big dummy." Kind of what I think of Trump supporters. Oh, there you go. You saw it. Okay, cool. So here's the thing. I was on this live today, and man, nose running and shit. I was on this live today, right? And it was a bunch of white conservatives, and this conservative white lady was, listen, it's always got to be a conservative, man. It always got to be the white tea conservatives that be giving a brother a hard damn time. You know what I mean? It's just fucking crazy, right? And here's the thing: they always think they're smarter than everybody. This is what I get. They smarter than every goddamn body, right? So there's always this question, right? Hey, look, I gotta get. Hey, look, check your boy out in his hats. The Kindomhood. Got my scripture on the side here. Got my suede black. This right here, suede. This is how you get crowned. See this when I rock this hat, man, it just does something for me. Anyway, so y'all support the Kingdom. So anyway, I was on this Conserve Live, and this white tea lady, and it always goes into about race and things like that, and there, it's always in regards to the Dixiecrats, right? Or Democrats, because they know predominantly black people by and large vote Democrat. So it's always a white concern. It's funny, man. Check this out, y'all. It's funny. It's really funny because when the white conservatives are always talking to me about racist Democrats, they're actually talking about themselves because the Dixiecrats were conservatives. They don't even know they're talking about themselves. But anyway, they're always smarter than every goddamn body. So she's like, well, it's always the same ass shit. The Republicans started the 3Ks. And who was in the 3Ks? White folks. You talk about people that look like you, right? Well, and they were the party of Jim Crow. Okay, yeah, that's true. But still, they look like you. They were conservative like you. Man, you're talking about yourself. And this one dude was on there. Of course, this white conservative. And he was saying that what was he saying? He was saying, first of all, this is what pissed me off. God has pissed me off to the highest pistivity. God has pissed me off. Well, you don't know your history, and you need, and I mean, white, you guys say G Willikers, not G Willikers, not G Manitly. Now, hold on there, buddy. Hold on there, buddy. G Manitly. Now, you get the stutter and shit, Now, the Republicans, they freed the slaves and it ended in 1865. It's smart ass, right? And I kept telling this dumbass that slavery actually didn't end until 1865. There's a book I recommend everybody to read called Slavery in Another Name by Douglas Blackman. And it clearly talks about how slavery actually didn't end until 1945. Because after slavery, the term slave, right? They started the convict leasing program. And I was telling this clown this. Just went over his fucking head, right? This clown, man. Well, and I was telling him, I said, listen, genius. I said, first of all, slavery was legal on paper, right? So they started convict leasing program. So they started black codes. They'd arrest black people for just being black, no other fucking reason, right? And then they throw them in jail. They give them some bullshit ass fine. They were literally fine black folks and make him pay the cop who arrested him. How do you make this shit up? Give him a fine. The slave owners will come back and lease the slave owners. Go to prisons, lease the slaves, and put them right back on the goddamn plantation. Thanks to the 13th Amendment, right? Thanks to the 13th Amendment, you are free except for a crime. And the slave owners, along with this justice system that you finally complain about now, arrested black folks, convicted them of a bullshit ass crime, and they went right back to the cotton fields. That was it. That didn't stop until 1945. And the only reason why FDR stopped that during World War II, because the Germans were telling the black folks, why are you fighting for this country that treats you less than cattle? Look what they're doing to your people. You're over here fighting us, and America's treating you like this. FDR got word of this and stopped convict leasing. And then we start that shit back up. But these are some of the really strange things, right? That I hear from these white conservatives. And it's always about these Democrats, like they separate from your ass, right? So if you and I want you guys to know this, man. When people are talking to you about these so-called these Democrats, the Dixiecrats, so we're talking about like Strom Thurmond and Jesse Helms and all these racist ass bastards. You got C. Bascom Simp and Mills Godwin and Richard Russell Jr. and George Wallace, all those Southern Dixiecrats. Just know that they may have been Dixiecrats under the Democratic umbrella, but they were conservative. So if you compare the way they vote, right, the Dixiecrats to the lily white Republicans, right? You can go all the way back to Renfro B. Krieger, Augustus Ramel, Powell Clayton. Come on now. I mean, if you go back and study the lily whites and the way they voted, their ideologies, they're as exact same as the Dixiecrats in the South. And the white girl said, well, I've never heard of the lily whites, and that sounds racist. Well, they fucking were. And then she goes and looks it up because she didn't have a clue what I was fucking talking about. And then she comes back, well, it was Norris Wright Cooney who named them the lily whites. I said, okay, tell me about that is true. Tell me about Norris Wright Cooney. Well, I don't know much about. I said he was a black Republican out of Texas, and he gave the lily white. He gave them that name because in 1888, at a delegation event, because he was a black delegate out of Texas, the white Republicans literally tried to remove him out of his seat physically, and a fight broke out. Them brothers start throwing hands, and from that point on, the Republican Party between whites and black was split. Can't get a Negro to talk about that. I was listening to this live today. I couldn't get up there on this dude named Dame, black conservative. I was going on his fucking live, right? And a dude named Tony. He was talking to this white liberal. He was going on and on and on and on and on about a fucking liberal. Didn't say a goddamn thing about white Republicans. And I would always say, matter of fact, I'm doing another voiceover about this, right? And I'm going to go in and on this voiceover to this video that's being made that I was asked to do. It's going to go into detail about how the Lily Whites and the Dixiecrats were the same, did the same damn thing to black folks. I always argue that the Lily Whites were worse. Why do I argue that? It's because we were all Republican after 1865. We knew who the Democrats were. The Democrats were racist POSs. Let's say it. Up to about 1944. And then you had people like Powell Clayton Jr. and others that started getting elected on the Democratic side because they saw what was happening to a guy named Oscar Stanton DePriest, a black Republican, who was getting elected but didn't have any fucking power. And the white Republicans wouldn't even work with him, kind of like what they did to Obama. So black politicians started seeing that the Democrats were offering black folks power. And in the 1940s, people started migrating over because the Lily Whites didn't want to fuck with black folks because they wanted that Southern white vote, right? So when you look at these two ideologies, they're pretty much the same. And this is why I always say black folks really got to recognize who our enemy is. So anyway, this brother Tony, I've seen his lives before, and I'm gonna catch him because I want him to talk about that liberal shit in front of me. Listen, I'm not giving liberals a pass. I ain't giving these Chuck Schumers and Nancy Pelosi's and all these old ass liberals. They need to get their ass out, go sit down some goddamn where. I'm not cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs or simping for liberals either. But one of the things that I always talk about, if you really care about black folks and you're a black Republican, why are you not criticizing white Republicans? Sit up all day and fucking talk about liberals. And it's always based on what Malcolm X said about the liberal being the most dangerous man in America or the most dangerous to black folks. Well, I challenge Malcolm X on that because Malcolm X in a speech, Ballot or the Bullet, never mentioned conservatives. I think Malcolm X the Dixiecrats, like Strom Thurmond and all them, were Republican. Were conservative. I think he thought that, and he was wrong. He was wrong because in 1964, King on the face the nation. Okay, let me go back. The Republicans, when you talk about Frederick Douglass was a radical. He was a progressive because Frederick Douglass in 1864 left the Republican Party and started the Radical Democracy Party because he got tired of fucking around with Lincoln's vacillating ass in regards to letting his people go, right? And finally, of course, Lincoln had to. So Lincoln leaves the Republican Party, starts the Radical Democracy Party, right? And then runs General Fremont, who fought in the Civil War under Lincoln against Lincoln in 1964. So Frederick Douglass like, fuck this, I'm tired. But Lincoln ended up doing it. They ended up meeting, I believe, like the last time Frederick Douglass met Lincoln, I think, was in August of 64. I think that's the last time they met. It might have been a little bit longer. But I want to tell you something really interesting about Lincoln. There's a whole lot of funny shit about Lincoln. But in the summer, the reason why him and Frederick Douglass met, because in the summer of 1864, Lincoln was under pressure to end the war, right? So Lincoln was actually going to write a letter to Jefferson Davis and say, hey, listen, if you end the war, we'll allow the courts and the votes to decide if slavery ends. And listen, Frederick Douglass said, goddamn well those white people ain't going to do right. You know they ain't going to do right. And he convinced Lincoln not to send the letter to Jefferson Davis. You had, and I'm going to move forward real quick because I want to get into some other stuff. But in 1860, a guy named Thomas Corwin, who was a Republican out of Ohio, he actually got a bill through the House in 1860, that slavery would never end. This is a Republican. So we got to stop. If we really care about black folks, which I don't believe these black Republicans do, because all they fucking do is talk about liberals. Listen, I'm for criticizing liberals too. I'm not a liberal. I'm a progressive. I'm in the lineage of the Frederick Douglasses, the G.T. Rubies, the Matthew Gaines, the Norris Wright Cooney. I'm like one of my black political heroes, George Washington Lee, Jackie Robinson. said himself he was a radical black Republican. That's what Jackie Robinson said, right? I'm not a Republican, but their ideas and the way and what Jackie Robinson stood for, what he stood for, I'm lock stock. I am lock, stock, and barrel with him, right? We talk about Archibald Carey, Robert Church Jr., Joseph Rainey, Robert Smalls, Thaddeus Stevens, Jesse Waters. These black Republicans were fighting the white Republicans. Where the hell, where are these type of Republicans at? Yeah, you're right. They don't exist. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and get into what I want to talk about real quick, because this race thing. Oh, here's nothing too. Before I get into what I want to talk about, because this is all the prelude. This is all the prelude leading up, right? They start talking about Iran. Listen. Oh boy, this is interesting. So they start talking about Iran, and for some reason, I guess they thought. I guess for some reason they thought that I was going to jump on the Iran bandwagon. So the question was, I was asking these white conservatives, they were saying, well, Iran is saying D to America. They're saying D to America. Okay. The question is why Iran is saying that. See, my dad told me, he said, one of the most powerful words in the English language is why. If you start asking the why question, it's going to take you on a journey. That's one of the reasons why, this Republican political thing in both parties and their participation in racism and how they were antithetical to the progression of black folks, it really led me on a journey, because I started asking questions. Right? Because I used to think the Democrats were the only ones that was racist too. Turned out that's not the case. The Republicans were just as bad. But every time I'm on this live and I'm on TikTok and I'm talking about these things, black Republicans don't know shit about their own party. It's amazing how they don't know about their own goddamn party. It's amazing. So anyway, the lady, the white conservative lady, was telling me, that is they're saying D to America, and that Iran has, in that part of the world, they have Sharia law. Okay. What in the hell do I care about Sharia law? Well, they treat their women a certain way. I said, how are black women treated in this country? This is the position I think black people need to start making. So you're going to partner with white tea people to marginalize other black folks, that or other poor people. Iran don't give a god. It's always like they're Western jihadists, and they don't like our way of life and our religion. They don't give a shit about you. That part of the world, they want you to leave them the fuck alone. America has an imperialist mindset where you want to go fucking with other people. Leave people alone. And goddamn, I told the girl, I don't give shit about Sharia law. I care about the Sharia law that white people did to black people here. You got the nerve to talk about what somebody did 7,000 miles away, and the people that look like you have a history of doing things that are so barbaric they transcends man's understanding. The people that look like me, and you want me to worry about somebody 7,000 miles away? Ain't no Iranian, Iraqian, Czechoslovakian, or whatever the hell they are over there, Pakistanian, ever called me a nigga. Ain't none of them hung none of my people from trees. Ain't none of them done none of that shit. They didn't participate in Jim Crow. They didn't smom down my cities. They didn't treat us, call us 3/5 of human being. And you want me to sit over there and talk about some people over there? I ain't got shit to say about nobody in Iran. They ain't never called me no nigga. Shit. What you want me to worry about them for? You my enemy. Hell, you my enemy right here at home. Fuck I need to worry about over there. And this is a type of mindset that I think black people need to have. We need to mind our own black business. My man Ben Lee, Elise Rain, and Flavius and Kia and all them in the I am movement, they said they wanted me to be the president. They wanted me to be face. And everything, and I take that serious, right? And we are going to mind our own black business. Stop partnering with white people to worry about brown folks. This is why it's important. People, hey, listen, if we're not going to do that, listen, I'm not going to protest for the brown folks. Listen, let's keep it real. Donald Trump got a higher percentage of the Latino vote than he did in 20, right? So more Latinos voted him in 24 than they did in 20. So I don't know what to say about that. Hey, brown folks, listen, we told you. Okay, we told you. And a lot of the Latinos did not want a black woman as president. Let's just keep it real. So I'm not going to be against them. I'm not going to be for them. I'm just going to stay out that shit. But black folks partnering with the very same type of people who oppressed your black ass. You want to join them and hurt other poor people. Listen, after the Civil War, Lincoln went to the black leaders and said, hey, you suffer at our presence and we suffer at yours. You will never be equal here. Take your ass to Liberia. Lincoln wanted us gone. Lincoln wanted us out of here. It was birthright citizenship that solidified us. What ODB, Orange Dirty Bastard, is trying to play with. And you Negroes are you're going to partner with white folks to think that that's only going to hurt brown people. That's what solidified us here. Where does it end? In the case that they argued, if you listen to the argument, it was not about just for brown people. Now, they had made that. Now, listen, here's the thing in all fairness to Donald Trump. If he had went in there and said, people come over here and they have babies just to get citizenship. Like there was they caught these Chinese people that they would come over here and they would have a baby and let the child be born here. So that'd be American citizenship. Then they go back to China. They'd raise them there. They go through high school, college, whatever they did. And then they come back over here and they busted them. I remember this. I think it's like about 10 years ago. And they busted their asses. Now, if it's for something like that, I'm cool with that. I ain't mad at Donald Trump if he want to do that. But that wasn't the argument. When they argued that, that's not what they were talking about. It was broad. It was broadly speaking. You know, there's no end to. We don't know where this shit's gonna go. You don't know where this shit going in, and you got Negroes that are partnering with ODB, Orange Dirty Bastard, because you think, come on, man. Come on, y'all. God damn, man. Listen. You gotta have people who are really about this life around you. Listen. I've been called to do something, and I gotta have people who are really about this life. I'm not gonna have no half step and fetch Negroes rocking with me. You in or you out? Well, see, here's the thing. Every race cares about their own race. White people care about white people. Anytime you on this live, I hear this all the time, right? Well, all Americans, white girls, all Americans, now G Willikers, I care about all Americans. Yeah, you do. You care about all Americans as long as we do what the fuck you want us to do. As long as black people stay in line and step and fetch, we're good. As soon as your ass step out of line, you ain't American. You're a complainer. Right? I gotta be in the America that you want me to be in. I gotta walk and talk like you want me to walk. Listen, I am a black man through and through. All right. And I'm not gonna walk around raising my voice 2 octaves, wearing, holding my booty cheeks tight, to make you feel comfortable. Shit. I mean, if you want to really get around, you gotta be white. Look at these black Republicans. They'll never challenge white. They don't ever challenge white Republicans. I ain't seen not one black Republican challenge his own party. I've literally seen white Republicans run. This dude, man, He will hammer me. He came after me as being a black progressive. The white Republicans talked to this black Republican like he was a Negro. He didn't say nothing. Oh, I'm on your side. I'm trying to talk to you. No, 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 no. But we'll go down and tear down another black man. What the hell is wrong with these Negroes? Ah, damn. Simple Simon stepping fetch Negroes? Ah, damn. Fuck out of here. Okay. Let me get into this, man, so I won't be too late. Let me get here. I gotta get my notes. All right. So I know we are a somewhat of a divided nation, right? Especially since the dude Donald Trump. We're divided in a lot of ways. Hold on a second, guys. We're divided in a lot of ways, man. Um, yeah, we're still having this race question. And I think the problem with America is you don't want to deal with it. You want people just to forget about it. You want us to forget about it. I'm looking down on my notes. You want us to forget about it because it's ugly. It makes white people look real bad. Yeah, it's painful. History is painful, man. And yeah, it's painful. But we don't tell you to forget about 4th of July. Man, you tell some white dude to stop talking about 4th of July, he probably chase you down the street with a chainsaw or some shit. They don't start talking about the Industrial Revolution. Yeah. They don't stop talking about that. Nobody tells Jewish people to forget about the Holocaust. Or nobody tells Irish to forget about Ellis Island. But black people are supposed to walk in line and step and fetch. And the reason why this race is going to rip this country apart is because the very people who created it doesn't want to deal with it. You don't want to deal with it. You want to just ignore it. Why you have to keep going back there? Cause motherfucker, shit, you ain't paid. Listen, why do we keep going back there? Because we're still there. Racism it just changes platform. Hold on a minute.
Hey, can you guys hear me? Let me make sure. This thing was off over here. Hold on a minute. Okay, guys. So listen, I'm gonna come back on tomorrow, and I'm gonna go over these 11 things. I think this is gonna be really good, man. This 11 thing, because if we're gonna do something about, because racism gonna tear this country down. As long as people keep saying, calling people victims, and okay, I'm back. All right, anyway, I had something going on my computer. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna come back on tomorrow. Um, and yeah, and go through my things that people need to stop doing if we're gonna end racism in this country. So, all right, we'll talk to y'all. Yeah, damn, what time is it now? It's late, man. Oh man, it's 3 a.m. So we're on the East Coast. All right, man. So we'll talk to y'all tomorrow, and we'll actually talk to you later on today. Actually, all right. Y'all have a good one. Bye.